Hey YouTube, welcome back to part 2 of the graduation box build. Once these things get to a certain length, they're just impossible to deal with on the computer and nobody's watching anyway. So thanks for coming back for part 2. Part 1, we got the box proper made, the walls, and cut it in half. And now we're going to get the bottom and top put on, get it put together with some hinges and whatnot. And get it finished. Now, I don't think I have a whole lot of footage of finishing the box, but if you've ever sanded wood and finished wood, I don't know that you need to see me do it. Anyway, thanks for coming back for part 2. And if you stick around, there may be an Easter egg towards the end that you're going to want to see. Let's get to the box build.
So I don't know that I can fit much less than half an inch between the blade and the fence. So I'm going to go with half an inch, even though what I really want is a quarter.
20 minutes later.
All right, get these kind of lined up on our bar clamps. Get some glue on them. And again, according to Type Bond, you don't have to do both sides. So on this side, I've got a thin film on both. On that one, I've got a heavier film on one. This is upside down, but we will rabbet a joint in there. May try to center it up to where the two outside are the thinner, and keep the middle one. That was a productive woodworking lunch hour. Now, need to clean up a little bit and get back to the day job. So naturally, as luck would have it, I wasn't recording. You cut the top down to match the bottom. There is a little bit of overhang on the back and on this side. So this is my reference corner here. This side we can sand down. Front we can sand. These two will probably run a very, very thin, just whisper on the table saw. We've got the bottom cherry gluing. All right, so now it's just a waiting game on the glue on the bottom. So this is going to be all over the place. This video was shot over 2 weekends, probably 4 days altogether, but over the course of 2 weekends. I'm going to try this one on the CNC. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find the center of this board, and I have created a CNC file that'll give me room to clamp this down out here, and we're going to basically route a groove, a 1/4 inch deep groove. So we've got our center point. We will hook this up to CNC and get to routing. We're just going to let it travel around. It's doing the outside limits right now, so that just to make sure that we don't have anything binding. Okay, just double checking on the screen. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's on the outside limits, and now it is traveling to the inside corner. Since we did the outside limits, we feel pretty good about it. We're going to go ahead and hit the stop button. Say go to 0. And so now I'm going to use the handheld and do start. This will throw a lot of chips. Inside the box, I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty tight. We're in there. Outside, we've got a little bit of clearance. So the idea is we're gonna cut right along the line here. This is our bottom. I think it looks pretty good. Hopefully we've got enough battery. I'm gonna hit this with some Type Bond 2 or Type Bond 3. Sorry there, Type Bond. Stick this in here. Put it on. All right, we're running out of battery. There's an old adage in woodworking that you can never have too many clamps. I think it's the same for automotive repair, that you can never have too many specialty tools. So I'm going to bring this down across the corner. Same thing over here. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the center of this screw on the center of the wall. And that way I'm also not on the corners here where there's, I'm not on the pins or tails. I'm on the walls. So I'm going wall to wall, wall to wall, all the way around. Pretty good evening after work. And we will let that sit overnight, come back tomorrow, and see where we're at. I've skipped way ahead. I'm carving the handle into the end of the lid here. I did a test pass and then dropped it down to the correct height. So we're 2/10 above, and we will run it again.
2,000 years later.
So if you've made it this far in the video, I figured you didn't need to see me sanding for hours. Picked up some jewelry box hinges from Rockler. I'll put a link in the description, of course. And gonna mount these on here. I want to get it mounted up, and then I also bought some felt. So I'm gonna cut the felt into strips and place it along here just so it's a softer close. It's a couple days later. Can't remember what I left off with. It's been a little bit of an adventure with hinges from Amazon, and so thank you to Rockler for having a brick and mortar store near me. These were, I'll say, about $20 a piece. They certainly had cheaper hinges. I like this. It had a nice antique look to it, and I also to me it seemed like it would be a sturdier hinge. As far as an air quotes jewelry box goes, I think this is a little bit of a heavy one. One note to Rockler if you're out there. Well, a couple of notes to Rockler if you're out there watching. On the website, there really are no dimensions for this. There's kind of a dimension in the description, but it's not really, it isn't a detailed drawing of how big these things are. So you have no idea. I mean, I wouldn't order these online. They didn't have any dimensions to go off of. The second note, which has just come into play. I think you gave me exactly the right number of these teeny tiny screws. It would be nice to throw a couple extra screws in so that if you are like me and you are desperately trying to lose one, that you have some extras. Okay. So all of the screws line up. What I'm going to try to do is back these up enough and then maybe just push down on the lid to get an idea where the screws in the lid should go. So we made little indents here that will help with the layout. I like these though, and I like the antique finish. And so there we go with our box. I think that turned out pretty well. Got our box, got our little thumb hold here, so we should be good to go. Then I'm going to do a little a string that will hold this, at about 110 degrees or so. All right, so we have taken it to 220 on the sanding. This is just a damp rag, and so I'm going to wipe it down. Doesn't have to be super wet. Damp is good. You can see how nice that walnut is. That's about what it'll look like when it's finished. This I'm just going to put a clear coat on. It's not food safe or anything, so do the ends here. And what this does is this is called popping the grain. If you're this far in the video, you probably already know what I'm talking about, but just in case. So after you wipe it down with a damp cloth, it gets furry. It was here, it's nice and smooth. Here, it's a little furry. It's almost like, raising your beard in the shower. before you shave. So when I'm done popping this grain, I'm going to go over it with 320 grit, and it should be pretty smooth at that point. Yeah, so I mean, this feels just a little bit furry. It was nice and smooth a minute ago. Got the grain all popped there. Tip it up on edge right now. Let it dry a little bit, and this. So when I come back with the 320, I'm going to knock that fur off, and it will be even smoother. So a technique that I came up with on my cutting boards, I sand with the grain, and then I sand against the grain, and then I do 45, not necessarily 45, but diagonal this way and then diagonal that way. And what you're doing when you're sanding is you're actually creating teeny tiny little microscopic valleys. And so if you, by changing all the direction, granted it's a random orbital sander, but by changing directions, what you're doing is you're making the valleys smaller and smaller, and so it feels smoother. I just love this cherry. I think it's so rich, especially when it gets finished, and it really, the grain really pops. Although I gotta say, it is hard to beat walnut. Right now it's kind of grayish because of all the sawdust, but it is walnut is just such a rich wood. I think hopefully they will enjoy this for years to come. So I didn't get a lot of footage of me actually doing the spray finish on it. It's a clear enamel. I use I think it's Ace Hardware brand clear enamel spray. Get good results with it. Now you do have to hold it back from the workpiece a good bit, and I just went with very thin coats, and I sanded it with I think 4,000 in between coats. Put about 3 coats on it. And so this should give them years of good use on it. So over the top of me talking, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of pictures of the finished box. I've already filmed an exit, so take it away, Pass Jack. All right, YouTube. I think that's about it for the grad box. Hopefully you enjoyed following along. Very expensive, a lot of walnut, cherry base. And since we can't control the cost of that, and I'm not a box builder, try to add value where we can. Did the grad sign. The young man's going to play golf up at UT Chattanooga. And so this will be something for his dorm room. Hopefully he appreciates it. And then since we had to make this thing about 4 times, we've got some offshoots. And I took those, I cut the tails and the pins off and made coasters. So we've got the big C or the power C, and we've got a pigeon playing golf. Probably a little difficult to see that, but hopefully in the video you saw more of it. So that's about it for this one. Hey, one last thing. If you've made it this far in the video, I am approaching 325 subscribers, which is ridiculous. But when we get to 325, I'm going to do a raffle. I'm probably going to raffle off an inlay cutting board, a custom inlay cutting board. And so if you've made it this far, I'm going to tell people, I'm going to do a video saying, hey, like, subscribe, put something down in the comments. But in your comments, at the end of your comment, what I want you to do is I want you to put hashtag GradBox. That's hashtag GradBox. I'll put it up over the screen, but hashtag GradBox, and that will get you 3 entries. Okay, so if all you got to do is put it down there once and hashtag GradBox, and I'll put you in as 3 entries. and so that should up your chance of winning the cutting board. Trying to reward the people that stick with the videos the whole time. This one probably was 3 or 4 videos, 4 or 5 videos. I don't know. Anyway, I think my time is up. We've got hot dogs going on the grill. We got Auburn Tiger baseball, and we got to get this stuff kind of wrapped up. So my time is up. I thank you for yours. We'll see you on the next one, YouTube.